Well, for a month now, families of Uvalde victims asked for someone to be held responsible following the tragedy inside Robb Elementary. Many questioning why it took so long to get to the gunman. The district's chief, who had been widely criticized, is off the force, at least for now. Chris Sadeghi is with us in studio this morning. Chris, it'll take a lot to ease these families' pain, understandably so. Perhaps this is a first step to getting more answers.
It could be. This is what they were asking for. Here was the release that came from the Uvalde School District yesterday afternoon from the superintendent, Dr. Hal Harrell. He starts out by saying that from the beginning, he said that the district would not be making any personnel decisions until after the investigation was complete, but then adds, because of the lack of clarity that remains in the unknown timing of when I will receive the results of the investigations, he made the decision to put Chief Pete Arredondo on administrative leave. Now, the criticism of Arredondo has been growing, and it reached a boiling point Tuesday when DPS Director Steve McCraw called the response at Uvalde an abject failure and seemed to lay most of the blame at the decision-making of the on-scene commander, who was Arredondo. Through some committee hearings in Austin over the last couple of days, we've learned more about the actions or lack thereof inside Robb Elementary when officers waited more than 70 minutes before storming the classroom to kill the shooter. The parents of the children killed in Uvalde were among some of the loudest critics of Arredondo. Some of them spent the weekend protesting for him to be removed from the job, and now he has.
I think in this case, it was just negligence. Who waits 77 minutes outside? Who does that? Because I guarantee if it was their children, they would have ran in. And that's just all there is to it. They failed us. They failed our kids. They failed our city. They failed our community.
And I mentioned that the superintendent talked about a lack of detail and clarity regarding the investigation. Senator Roland Gutierrez, who represents Uvalde, is tired of the waiting. He's echoed what a lot of media outlets have said, in that DPS is not answering open records requests, so he's now suing the agency to get those records that could hold some of the details about the investigation that right now still remain a mystery, guys.
You know, we reported on these hearings in Austin over the last couple of days. What's been the result of those? I know we've seen some pretty harsh words.
Well, we're not seeing the results right away. The point of these hearings was to get enough information for the lawmakers to hear exactly what happened, and then ultimately that could lead to new laws or recommendations. Now, the Senate hearing that was public over the last couple days that we've been following, that happened. Also, there was a House hearing that was behind closed doors. Today, there will be two more regularly scheduled House committee hearings, which take up the topics of school safety and also gun safety.
I just think folks want some transparency from these agencies.
That's the idea. That's why the open records law is in place. It has to be followed, though.